It's a great crowd, the best in the world.
I don't care that you don't read.
Yeah, we don't care. No one has to read here. Come on.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I thank you for playing reverse charades. I appreciate you playing that. You're saying you're not competitive.
No, I'm not very competitive. I get a little competitive. I love playing Mafia, which is kind of a different thing.
Oh, I know Mafia.
Yes.
Is that where you wink at someone? Is that how you...
It's where, like, some people are in the Mafia and some people are townspeople, and in the night, the townspeople close their eyes and the Mafia choose who to kill. It's quite like a fiendish, yes. Like The Traitors, if you've seen The Traitors.
Yes, The Traitors, yeah.
Traitors.
Yeah, but it's like a dinner party game, right?
It's kind of like a dinner party game.
And do you play it with people?
I do. I play it with people. Over the pandemic, Craig Mazin, who created The Last of Us, and I hosted a big Zoom Mafia that was very elaborate.
Wow.
And it's kind of why he thought of me for The Last of Us, because he was like, it's really interesting to see you be sort of like sweet and normal, but also like a terrifying killer.
Well, who knows who's going to watch Reverse Charades and cast you from our game show, Reverse Charades.
Cast me as a...
You ended up being Emmy nominated for your role in The Last of Us.
Yeah,
not too...
So
not too shabby. You were also Emmy nominated for your role in Yellow Jackets. You were great in that as well. That show crushes me too. That show crushes me.
I love it. I'm so lucky. Oh my gosh.
You're going back production season 3 starting soon, right?
Yeah, I'm going in like a week. Yeah.
Can you say anything? What it's about?
I'll tell you everything. What do you want to know? I'll tell you all of it.
What happens this season?
Oh my God. It's,
just tell
they
everyone.
have told me, but I'm shocked that they told me because it's hard for me to keep a secret.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
Yeah. Can you give us any hints? What's like?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No.
It is an insane show. It is intense.
Yeah.
I have no idea where it's going to go.
Me either.
Well, you do, though.
I mean, I kind of... Did you believe me, though?
I did. You're a very good actor, yeah.
Thank you.
So, when you go on to do a show like Yellow Jackets, do you know that the show's going to be a hit right off the bat? You go, this is cool.
Do you know, there's a part of me, I read the script, I trusted the script, we made the pilot, great, and then I didn't hear anything. And then there was the pandemic, and I was sitting at home, and I talked to this wonderful woman called Fatima, who's a psychic who I talk to sometimes. And all I was asking about was whether I was going to have another baby, because I was obsessed with having another baby, because I'm obsessed with my child. Yeah. And she said, oh, you're going to be so busy with work. She said, you're about to enter into a time in your career that because it didn't happen when you were 25, you thought it was not going to happen. And I said, sure. That doesn't sound right. And she said, you've already done a bit of it. Does that make sense? You've done a bit. And I said, I did a pilot, but literally no one's been like, hey, good job. Like, I don't know if it was any good. It was months ago. And she said, oh, no, it's that. It's going to be a big hit. And I was like, I guess I have to stop talking to Fatima, but...
Fatima called it. And is she like a Hollywood psychic? Does she know the business? Or?
She like lives in New Orleans. No, she doesn't know the business at all. So she didn't know what she meant
by something you did.
Yeah, she's like, you did a bit of it. You did a bit. And I was like, this pilot? And she was like, what's that? And, so I explained, like, but she's very...
She called it.
I know.
Fatima, good job.
No, she is very good, and she's such a love as well.
You were telling me something backstage. We were talking about your new series on Peacock.
Yes.
And you were saying while you were in, was it...
Slovakia.
Slovakia.
Which is beautiful.
Yeah. You said that you got engaged.
Yeah.
And I started laughing because I know your husband.
Yes,
and
I'm married.
Yeah, you're married.
Yeah.
And I go, well, that's interesting because...
Yes, I have a lovely new engagement ring.
Yeah, I go, yeah, it's gorgeous, but
thank you.
What is it,
Well,
just tell me exactly what you meant by that.
So here's the thing. My husband's first proposal was so confusing. I didn't know what was happening. We were on... The day before, I had been looking at rings, and I tried one, and I was like, oh, it kind of looks like an engagement ring almost. I don't think I'm going to get it. So then he got me this ring... So I was like, oh, thanks. It didn't sort of cross my mind. And then there was a strange speech. And we were just sort of sitting there. He had paused whatever, The Bachelor. And I was just sort of like, oh, okay. And I was like, we're not breaking up. He was like, no. So I said, okay. And then I was like, well, thank you. lovely, good chat. And then 3 days later, we went to meet his family for Christmas, and he said, "We're engaged." I said, "Are we?" Oh. Oh.
What?
It was so confusing. I didn't know.
And you're like, "Are we? Wait, when did that happen?"
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like, "Do I tell my friends?" And he said, "Of course." But it was so confusing. And then I said, "That's not usually what a proposal's like. People usually understand that it's
at least one
happening."
person understands.
Yeah. So since then, he's been very cute, and he's been proposing to me over and over. Which is very sweet. And he did one on my birthday in Slovakia that was so cute. And he gave me all these little gifts, and he was going to take me out for dinner and do it at dinner, but our daughter was like, "Give her the ring, Dad." Where's the ring? That's the big present.
Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah,
Well,
it was
congratulations again on getting engaged.
Okay. To my husband.
Tell him I said hi.
I will.
I want to talk about your new Peacock series, The Tattooist of Auschwitz, based on a best-selling novel and inspired by a true story.
Yes.
Can you tell everyone what the story is about?
Well, this woman called Heather Morris, who is a New Zealand woman, so I get to play a New Zealander in the series, she's who I play, met an elderly Holocaust survivor in Melbourne in 2003 and started recording his testimony and his story and his memories. And then she wrote a book that became a bestseller. So in her midlife, she found out she was really great at writing, and she wrote this beautiful story, which was about Lali's time in Auschwitz, where he also met the love of his life. It's almost unbelievable. It's an incredible story.
And you got to meet her, right?
I did, yeah.
Was that? Is it good? Is it fun to meet someone you're playing, or is it like, well?
I love her. She's such a sweet lady. She was very involved. Like, I have a blonde wig in the show because she has blonde hair. I didn't know it was gonna, but she was like choosing the costumes, and she was like really, which was super fun for me to have somebody like have so much agency, because I think it was weird for her. She wasn't expecting to be a character. They kind of wrote her into the show, and yeah, she was so sweet.
Did she like how you were playing everything? Did you?
Well, I'm very shy, so, you know, I met her, and she's a very confident woman, and I was like, "Oh, nice to meet you." She's like, "Well, you're going to have to come out of your shell. This isn't going to work."
You're going to have to act a little bit here, yeah, come on.
I was like, "Oh, I can. Some of the things I've done, I'm quite intimidating. Killing rabbits and, you know, humans."
Yes.
But she was very, very sweet. And then we started filming a little bit, and she sent me this beautiful email where she said, "You know, I was looking back on who I was 20 years ago, and it was actually very scary. I didn't know if I could do it, and I was quite a shy person." And she gave me kind of permission to lean into that a bit more.
How cool is that?
She was awesome, yeah.
I want to show a clip. Here's Melanie Lynskey in The Tattooist of Auschwitz. Take a look at this.
I've never done anything like this in my life. And I was not prepared for how overwhelmed I would be listening to your memories.
Who wouldn't be? At least if they have one of these.
That's very generous of you. But I didn't want you to know I was struggling, because your story, it's such an important story. And I don't know if I'm capable of writing it. I'm actually terrified.
Melanie Lynskey, everyone! The Tattooist of Auschwitz is available on Peacock this Thursday. We'll be right back with a performance from Lang Lang. Stick around, everybody.
Hey, hey.